Hey guys, so this is my first video on this channel and I wanted to start it out by giving you a brief story about how I became an atheist and when all this started and how it all went down. So when I was about 12 or 13, my family actually got kicked out of two separate churches, both for the same reason. My parents decided to ask the pastors where the tithe money was going because they were, donating this money and had no idea where it was going, and it was a valid question. Like, they wanted to know where their money was going, and the pastors did not like that in any way. They immediately called us black sheep and kicked us out of the church. Now, this obviously was not the reason why I became an atheist, but it was definitely, a building block. So after we got kicked out of the churches, my family started doing these kind of like home Bible study things where my parents would, tell us what they believed and then show us like random videos they found on the internet. And these videos were by these guys kind of trying to teach people how to more effectively think about their Christian beliefs and how they actually perceived the message of the Bible. Like, they believed that everything in the Bible was the absolute literal truth of God, and you should follow everything the Bible said. Now, after a couple of years of watching these videos and kind of just going through the motions of listening to what they said and reacting and telling my parents and my entire family what I thought, I started to kind of get really evangelistic. I decided that I really enjoyed defending what I believed, and so I would watch these debates online between Christians and atheists, and because I wanted to be able to defend myself against any atheist I got into an argument with. So I would watch how these Christians would handle the atheist in the argument or the debate, and then I would, kind of copycat them. Not saying word for word, but get the general idea, which was obviously a bad idea, but I did it. And the more I would watch these videos, the more I realized that the atheist usually made way more sense and had way more evidence than the Christian. The Christian would make a point and back it up with a Bible verse, whereas the atheist would make a point and back it up with science or just reasonable logic. And I really respected that. So after doing this for a while, I kind of developed a real clear doubt for my religion. And I was kind of in this state of confusion. I wasn't sure what I was because I didn't see myself as a Christian anymore, but I didn't like the term atheist a whole lot either. But after a couple of months, I decided that's what I was. I was an atheist. So that's what I officially named myself, or called myself, whichever you would like. But either way, I was an atheist, right? So I didn't tell my parents for a long time because I was really worried about what they would do because they are very religious. So I didn't tell them for a while, and it finally came out when we were sitting at a restaurant, and I was really tired and really hungry, and I didn't want to be there. And they wanted me to read some article or something about religion related to some event that was happening in the media at the time. And I remember saying, like, I don't want to, I really don't care, this doesn't affect me, I don't care, like, I don't want to do it. And they started questioning me. They were like, like, why don't you care? And all of this stuff. And eventually kind of just slipped out. I was like, yeah, I don't really believe that. So it ended up in like a 6-hour argument between me and my entire family, which it was really just me getting bombarded by them and them crying, saying like I'm gonna go to hell and stuff, which was great, lovely times. But after that happened, we really didn't get into any huge arguments anymore for a really long time. We got in some; they were small, not nearly as bad, but yeah. And then 2 years later, well, now it's 2 years later. So since then, I've gone to church camp twice, which was horrible. And I'm sure I'll make a video about that in the future, about both times. I've been forced to go to church multiple times. Most of this was kind of closer to when they found out, but recently they've become more accepting that I don't believe. But still, it's been rough. And I'm sure that some people watching this video can relate in at least some way. It can be very difficult. I think I got out of it pretty easy. It definitely could have been worse. But for the most part, that's my story. And thanks for watching.